Hello, everybody. Welcome to Phil's Place. I've got one of my close friends, childhood friends, Mike Merriam, on again with me. Breaking news. We just found out about 10 minutes ago
Yep.
that the Pittsburgh Steelers are hiring Mike McCarthy to be the next head coach. Mike McCarthy is a Pittsburgh native. He grew up in Greenfield. I believe he attended the University of Pittsburgh. I know he's got his start with Pitt. Um, he is as Pittsburgh as you get, but already from you and I talking before we hopped on to all the text messages, everybody, including the two of us, is against this hire. Mike, explain to me why you are against this whole concept of the Steelers hiring Mike McCarthy.
Well, I think we're going from a good coach to just another good coach, and I'm concerned that he's been out for a while, but there's nothing new, there's nothing innovative. His offense is old. He's he did okay when he was at Dallas. He did okay when he was at Green Bay, but does just like Tomlin did okay in the beginning. And I just don't see what direction this takes the Steelers. Do they intend him to be the coach for the next 15 years? You know, what what is this? I don't understand the hire. I understand that, yeah, he's a Pittsburgh boy, he's a former coach. That's easy. There are young, good candidates out there that the roof is so much higher. We know exactly what we're going to get with McCarthy. Look at his stats. It's almost identical to Tomlin. He has a slightly better success record in the playoff, but it's the same. I mean, he's got run out of Green Bay. He got run out of Dallas. I mean, there has to be something. So is it a bad hire? Certainly not a good hire in my book. I'm not excited. Let's put it that way. I was excited to come to Pittsburgh for the draft. I am no longer excited to come to Pittsburgh for the draft. I'm no longer excited because this probably means they're going to talk Rodgers into coming back. Not excited about that. Not that he did bad. It's, we don't make the playoffs if he's not there. But where are we going as an organization? We just keep tripping over ourselves. And here's another one.
I'll tell you what, the only feather in Mike McCarthy's cap is he did win a Super Bowl. They beat the Steelers. I don't remember what Super Bowl it was off the top of my head.
2011.
Was it 46?
I don't know the number, but
No, neither do I.
I was in Dallas, so that's what I remember.
We were hoping that the Steelers would hire an up-and-coming coordinator, somebody like Shula in Los Angeles,
Kubiak.
Kubiak with San Francisco. Those were my two front runners. And if it would have been Shula, we were hoping that he would maybe bring in the passing coordinator for the Rams. I can never pronounce his name. Steelhouse or
Fieldhouse.
whatever. Yeah. I'm kind of feeling the same way you are. I don't know what none of us know what he will bring to this organization. We don't know who he will hire as his coordinators, obviously. We don't know, you know, how the players are going to respond to McCarthy in the locker room.
All right.
We don't know if this is just going to be stale. Like you were saying, this is like a stagnant, direction. I don't, I'm not saying that the Steelers are going to lose like 13 games, go 4-13, but I'm not saying they're going to go 12-5 either,
Yeah.
and that's
I
not
mean,
going to happen anyway. But, you know, I guess he has a reputation for being a good, quarterback coach. But that was 20 years ago.
right. Games changed a lot.
Yes. And
Rules have changed a lot.
unless he hires an outstanding offensive coordinator, um, brings that person on board and becomes hands off, and he lets his coordinators and all the other, assistants do their jobs. that would be a positive as far as his coaching style. Unlike Tomlin, who seemed to have full control and wanted to be the smartest man on the staff. And look at where that got the Steelers. I just it's so new and it's so shocking that I don't know that anyone is going to have, an opinion that's going to wake me up and say, wow, this is the right direction. Um, I can't wait to see what everybody is saying,
They're going to destroy
the
it.
next 24 hours. And we're all going to be snowed in tomorrow and iced in tomorrow. So there's going to be a lot of time spent dissecting this hire.
Dan Orlovsky last night just said the worst thing that the Steelers could do is hire McCarthy and bring back Rodgers. And that's probably exactly what we're going to do. And again, what happened to we're going to take our time and do our due diligence where's the take that did they even interview Shula? Did they interview Kubiak? Did they what are we doing? It's just like we're rushing into it. And again, this does not bode excitement. Bringing in someone what you're getting. He's Tomlin 2.0, except he's more offensive minded than Tomlin. Again, good coach, not a great coach, not a Hall of Fame coach. I almost think when you mentioned winning the Super Bowl, it's like, well, how much of that was we lost the Super Bowl or did they win the Super Bowl? But again, he got the Super Bowl. Now, I won't discredit. He had three straight 12-win seasons in Dallas. So he's not an idiot by any means. And I don't think he's a bad coach. I think he's a good coach. He's not a great coach. Tomlin was a good coach, not a great coach. Motivator. I don't know how he is as a motivator. Obviously, Tomlin was a master of relationships and motivations, except for maybe with Debo, as you saw in his podcast.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about that in a little bit, but
yeah. So it's too fresh. I don't like talking and speaking when emotions are high. And right now, my emotions are very high because I'm very disappointed in this. Why? What was the hurry? What's the rush? Why a retread? Other than the Pittsburgh angle, and the experience. Yeah, great. He won a Super Bowl 15 years ago. Come on, man. I don't even have the right words or the right adjective. I'm not a linguist as it is anyway, and I'm an engineer. It's I'm very disappointed.
The only other thing I'll say, it's more of a pun than anything else, is that he's Irish Catholic, as are the Rooneys.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh the whole way through. That's for shits and giggles. It's not. It doesn't seem to fit the history going back to 1969 when I hired Chuck Noll when he was in his 30s. Or in 1991, after Noll stepped down, they hired Bill Cowher when he was in his 30s. And then in 2007, when they hired Mike Tomlin when he was in his 30s. I think all Steelers Nation probably would have said, oh, no, not probably, definitely would have said, hire another young guy, let him get his year in or whatever and see where it goes going into season 2 for that head coach. And, if that person's successful, you're going to see, him coach for the next 10, 15 years. And you said earlier, is he going to coach for 15 years? That's going to take him to the age of 77. I mean, come on. This is a short-term Band-Aid.
This is such a disappointment.
Yeah. So is the plan to have him develop Will Howard to be QB1?
That's the only thing I'm holding out for is I want to hear Rooney's rationale or Khan's rationale as to why. Why? That's what I want to know. Why? Why now? Why him? What was the hurry? What happened to doing your due diligence? This is not doing due diligence. No. It's the second person we interviewed.
Right.
Well,
technically, I think the fourth person they interviewed in person, they had Flores in.
Oh, yeah, Flores.
They had Weaver in yesterday, the defensive coordinator for the Miami Dolphins. but I thought there was somebody before Flores, but I don't remember.
I will hold judgment too until we see who's going to be the defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
I'm probably still not going to be excited because that'll probably be another screw up. It's just we just took one of the greatest franchises in all of football with such a rich history of doing the right thing, getting a coach, building a foundation. You know where the direction they're going in to this. What is this? What are we doing? So that's what I don't know. And again, too fresh. Let's see what DC he brings in and OC brings in and staff he brings in.
Yeah.
I'm afraid Rodgers is coming back, which I like Rodgers. Again, he had a good year. I don't want another year Rodgers.
I don't think Rodgers is going to come back. I don't think he's going to play for McCarthy. I don't think he's going to want to play for McCarthy. I could be dead wrong, but I don't see that happening.
I can already see this year McCarthy and Mason Rudolph starting quarterback. And I'd probably be the least excited about a Steelers season since the 80s. And Cliff Stout.
Mark Malone.
Bobby Brister.
Woodley.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I there's no excitement on my side here. I'm more excited about the blizzard tomorrow we're supposed to have than this hire.
Yeah.
You know,
thank goodness the Penguins are doing good, because right now I would just be, because between Pitt basketball and the Steelers and the Pirates, like, it's hard to be a Pittsburgh sports fan. And look at the impact a new coach makes. I mean, new roster, new philosophy, new playing style. The Penguins no one expected anything of them, and they're right now 7th in the conference. Anyway, I know we'll talk about the Penguins, but yeah. I was just trying to talk about something positive.
I do want to talk about the Debo Joe episode. I know it was up on YouTube 7 days ago, but I didn't see it until this morning. And nobody talked about this episode. But James Harrison absolutely threw Mike Tomlin under the bus. And he has receipts, as he said, and he read from his phone the text message that he sent to Tomlin back in 2018. Okay. And he read Tomlin's response. And then he read his response to Tomlin. And basically, his argument, which we all agree with, is that Tomlin was a good coach. He was a leader of men. He was a motivator, everything you just said earlier, but he wasn't a great coach. And James Harrison was attributing Dick LeBeau as why he became the player he was. He attributed Keith Butler, the linebackers coach, to why he was the player that we all know. He was a fantastic linebacker who was undrafted, who basically wasn't getting any looks from anybody, who came into camp, started special teams. Cowher took a chance on him, and because he was so well coached and with his athletic ability and his willingness to go out and just crush people, which he did, is why he became such a great player, because he was well coached. And he said in this episode that the difference between Cowher and Tomlin, and I agree with this, is Cowher would draft players that they needed to fit into that position. Okay. And we always knew that. And he was trying to fill in the holes that were needed.
Yep.
And because he had a very good coaching staff with him, maybe arguably a great coaching staff with him, that's why these players excelled under Cowher's head coach. Tomlin gets hired, takes over Cowher's team. They win Super Bowl 43, and then they were up here, and they just slowly went down like a vortex, and into the drain, basically. And he was drafting athletes instead of players to fit a particular position, and he didn't
And
have the
scheme.
coaches that could actually coach these players to properly play their positions. That was the premise of that episode, okay? And,
I was
I'll
shocked.
actually put the link up. I want people to watch this episode because it's coming much better from James Harrison than it is from me.
Yeah, the text from Coach Tomlin to him after in response, well, I mean, you saw he was asked if Belichick was a better coach than Tomlin, which is a fair question because he played for the Patriots and the Steelers, so he got to see them both. And he said, not even a question, it was Belichick. And Tomlin got up in his tears about it because he's supposed to be at practice, but he's watching his podcast, even though he doesn't hear the outside noise, as the Debo. And he says, to the point that Woodley was smarter. Like, what are you in sixth grade? Like, someone says something about you, and then that's what you do. Like, well, he was smarter than you, and whatever. And ah,
Tomlin always said he never listened to the outside noise.
yeah. Well, he
Always said that. He didn't pay attention to anything that was said outside, that he was just focused on coaching. But obviously that's a lie, okay? And what that episode did was it gave closure to Tomlin, his tenure, him leaving,
yeah.
and how fast he left, and our suspicion of it being a chat GPT, thank you to the Steelers organization and to the fans of Pittsburgh. Not even a press conference, thanking the Rooney family for the 19 years that he had and the 17 million he was making per year. One of the higher paid coaches in the NFL with the highest paid defense, in the NFL, all that kind of stuff. So I think those types of things, as we look back at Tomlin, will maybe have McCarthy look a little bit better as a person coming in to take over. But again, we won championships here in Pittsburgh. That's the
That's it.
expectation.
That's
We
it.
won a Super Bowl. It's the absolute expectation.
That's a goal every year in every sport and everything. If you're not trying to win the championship, then what are you doing?
Right. The Steelers have 6 Super Bowl rings. They were the dominant team of the 1970s. The 80s weren't so good. The 90s got better. 2010s got better. And then, and again, it just went downhill. We need to get back up to the peak. And I don't know that that's going to happen under McCarthy.
I mean, I don't think there's enough variance. Like, I don't think he's going to do significantly worse than Tomlin. I don't think he's going to do significantly better. I expect the same. I don't see anything to be excited about. Like, oh, there's going to be growth, and we can finally get back to that where we're a Super Bowl contender. We're a playoff contender. We're not a Super Bowl contender. We contend to make the playoffs, and
Contend
that's
to
it.
win the division.
We're middle of the road. We're 15th.
And I did a solo episode where I did praise Tomlin, and I didn't praise him, but I said positive things about him.
Yeah,
But
again, good coach.
Good coach. And yes, he's a Hall of Fame coach.
Yeah,
He never had a losing season. But, I think when he stepped down and the way he did it, he left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. And it could have been done better. I will say that.
Yeah.
Okay. So, this is definitely to be continued. This is going to be talked about all off season, heading into, whenever they do their camp. I guess it's in April, whenever they get together, when they have the draft, when they have mini camp, when they have rookie camp, all that kind of stuff. And then leading into when they all go to St. Vincent for actual training camp. But okay. All right. The Pittsburgh Penguins. You and I are high on the Penguins right now. They're 3-0 on their West Coast trip, their Canadian trip, basically. They've outscored their opponents 16-6. It seems like everything's clicking right now, and they have Vancouver tomorrow, which I'm expecting another win. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but Give me your thoughts, Mike, on why the Penguins are playing so well right now.
What's really nice is the breath of fresh air the new coach has brought in. So he has
Yeah,
a different system, different style. How, I can't remember the coach he coached. Laviolette, is that how you pronounce it?
yeah.
So he's of that tree. So his style, you can see it. It's evident. And, they're playing defense. When's the last time the Penguins were focused on defense? They're rolling different lines, depth across the defense. They're all four lines are scoring, contributing. We don't have to rely on Crosby and Malkin to score every game where we lose. We don't need EK to be a superhero. We just need him to make that splash play, the equivalent in football, like make that interception. Like, yeah, he's going to make some mistakes. Same with Tanger, but we don't need them to be elite anymore because we're balanced, and that's what I really love about this team is balance, speed, and man, Dubas, he's pulled the wool over some people's eyes, man. Some of those trades he got, I don't know if they just needed a new place, but oh,
The
I
Edmonton,
can't
the
believe.
Edmonton trade and the Columbus trade put them at a higher level because
Wow.
Skinner's playing well in that right now.
Even Kulak that we got in that trade has been very solid.
Contributing,
Nothing fancy, but dude, he was like
contributing.
thrown out in the dirty water, and he's playing solid, But
Absolutely.
that Russian kid that we got from
Minikoff.
Columbus, what?
And, I'm loving him. He
Wow,
is playing so well. He's got one of the hardest slap shots in the NHL.
he's so
Um,
fast.
yeah, and I think he's breathing life into Malkin since he came back from his injury.
And I love that, like, beyond what they're doing on the ice, I mean, it's exciting. Are they the best team in hockey? No, but they are way overachieving. They're fun to watch again. I mean, now I'm actually tuning in. Like before, I was like, I'd check scores. Now I'm watching again.
Yeah,
So, it's great. But it's also what's going on behind the scenes, like the youth talent that they have coming up and the goalie that coming up. Like you can see the direction the Penguins are going. They're going to be right back to being up there very soon.
they will
So
be,
I'm
and
excited.
I'm excited too because Muse isn't afraid to have a younger roster,
That's
take advantage of their speed, take
yeah,
advantage of their skill set. Ben Kindle is playing great as a rookie. He's
18.
yeah,
You think
I don't think
Sullivan?
he's shaving yet, and he's showing that he's a true NHL player. And he's only scratching the surface for goodness sakes.
Yeah.
Um, and we got these other, younger guys who are going to eventually come up here too. This youth movement is what the Penguins needed all along, and that was never tapped into under Sullivan. You know, I
He
don't know,
kept
Mike.
on
I
them.
think I think the Pens, they're obviously proving everybody wrong because there was a sports writer for Sportsnet up in Toronto who did his preseason power rankings, and he had the Penguins at 31. Okay, it was the Flyers were 30, Penguins were 31, and the Sharks were 32. Look at what the Sharks are doing. They have so many young players who Macklin. What the hell's his last name? He's like up there in points. He's like in the top 3 or 4 in points.
Yeah.
Um, I can't believe I'm drawing a blank on his last name. I talk about him all the time. But anyway, they're getting so much from a young roster. The Devils, why they've been playing better the past couple years. Young, fast, great skill sets. Just that's the direction the NHL is going, and the Penguins finally are going that direction. And Dubas has done a fantastic job this season. And that trade to Edmonton, getting rid of Jari, getting rid of his salary, they took his
Yes.
full salary.
Yes.
That's what the Pens needed. They needed to get that cap space, you know? And Carlson's playing better under Muse, like you had mentioned earlier. He's
Tanger.
playing his position. They're playing to his talents. And that's what you have to do when you have this type of roster.
Mhm.
Crosby has 27 goals. He's
Crazy.
tied for 5th as of like yesterday or whatever. He's probably going to have 33. I'm projecting he's going to have 33 goals, 32 goals before they go to Olympic break. And I'm just really, really happy to see how well they're playing now.
Yeah. Let's not lose sight of the fact the special teams, the power plays 3rd and the penalty kills 5th. Like
That's
I was
unheard
trying to
of.
think, when's the last time we had both special teams that high. I'm thinking it's the back to the 91, 92, 93, the Stanley Cup runs with Lemieux.
Yeah.
There were years where we had a good penalty kill. There were years where we had a good power play, but
you never had both.
Not both.
You never had both, and now they have both. And I'm really happy to see Crosby scoring more goals. He was always the assist guy, even though I can't remember how many goals he has right now total. He's well over 500. I was actually at that game when he scored his 500th goal, my son and I. That was a blast. And that was, of course, against the Flyers, which made it even better.
I mean, Malkin's 39. He's still getting a point a game.
Yeah.
39. It's crazy. He has 10 points in the 9 games since he came back from injury.
Yeah.
Now he wants to come back again for a cheaper price.
Yeah.
And his wife is gorgeous, so there's a lot to like there.
They're seeing the light. They're seeing the fact that this team has a talent and the ability, and they are well coached, that they can hopefully make a Stanley Cup run. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but before you know it, Mike, they could be at the top of the Eastern Conference. And the Eastern Conference is very tight. All these teams are so close together with total points. The only downfall, and we talk about this text all the time, is when Schlebos is in net for the shootout.
I don't understand it. How he's so great in regulation.
He's standing on his head, making great saves. Then when it comes down to the shootout, I mean, it's all psychological as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
He probably needs a sports psychologist just for the shootout. But hopefully he'll snap out of that. They're going to need him to, because you can't be getting 1 point a game when you know that you have almost 2 points locked in, for those games that they're losing in the shootout, But it's exciting hockey, and it's a shame that they're going to the Olympic break because they're playing so well right now. Although I am so looking forward to the hockey tournament in the Olympics. It's going to be fantastic again.
Crazy to think Sid's going to get another gold medal, most likely.
But yeah, Canada's a front runner for sure to win the Olympic gold. There's no question about that. It'd be shocking if they did.
What number will this be for Sid? How many gold medals does he have? Was it 4?
They took a break from playing in the Olympics. I mean, 2010, he scored the gold medal goal in overtime. Was he on the 2006 roster with Lemieux?
Yeah, that's what I can't remember how many it is now. I know it's multiple, but yeah. Anyway, what a crazy career. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
He's still going. He's not just playing. He's still one of the best in the world at 38.
Has he lost his step?
He sure doesn't look like it.
No. His passing is still crystal clear, tape to tape. He's always in the right position. Some of his goals he scored, even his tip-ins, using the heel of his stick.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that one goal that he scored against Edmonton, I don't care if Jari was in net or not. Nobody was saving that. It was a great pass. It was a great feed, and it happened so quick. I mean, no one was saving that. But that's Sidney Crosby, and that's why he's reshaped the game. And I'll say one more thing about that Edmonton game. How great was it to see Malkin steal the puck from McDavid and come in and a breakaway and just, he knows Jari. He knew what to do with Jari. That was a given, you know. And then Anthony Mantha, the first 2 goals, that had boom, boom, It was just so much fun to watch.
Yeah, Mantha's been great this year.
I call him Mo because the old Mo Mantha that played for the Pens, who was a good player. I can't help it. I just call him Mo just because. Yeah. Okay. We've got 2 pretty good games tomorrow in the NFC, AFC matchups. AFC's going first. We got New England at Denver. Now, before we talk about that, I am purposely wearing my Patriots hat. You probably know this. I think I told you. You remember Tom Larkin, who went to high school with us, class of 87, went on to John Carroll. He played basketball at John Carroll. His son, Riley, followed in his footsteps, played quarterback at John Carroll. And then because he's got such a great football mind, he was picked up by Ryan Day to be a GA. Then he became a special offensive assistant under Day. And then when the coaching position opened up in New England and they hired Vrabel obviously is paying attention to what's going on at Ohio State and with Tom's son Riley. he hired him to be an offensive assistant. And I'm so happy for him, which is why I've been able to erase the old Patriots regime out of my mind and hope to see that, Riley in his first year could go to the Super Bowl, with Ray and his staff and all the great players they have. But will they beat Denver tomorrow, though?
I mean, if it doesn't happen when Denver is playing with a backup quarterback who hasn't taken a
Yeah,
snap all year,
I've never heard of
yeah,
this guy.
that would he was drafted by the Patriots.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, Denver's defense is good. They're not that good. I mean, unless they can hold New England to 3 points, because I can't see, but this would be the absolute biggest upset, even if it is in Denver. That because New England is good. You know,
Yeah.
May is good. Their defense is good. They're well coached.
Yeah.
They all three facets. They're solid. They're not the best at anything, but they're good at everything. So, I mean, yeah, I am pretty confident New England's going to handle that game pretty well. I'd love to see a good game. I don't expect a good game. I mean, come on, that's a lot of pressure on that kid.
It is, and the quarterback for Denver, the number 2 who's coming in, he hasn't played. He hasn't thrown, since 2003, 2004?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean,
It's not like it's Mariota or someone who's done it before but hasn't played all year. This is a kid that's just there to hold the clipboard. And
I mean, obviously, they're gonna run the ball up in Denver, and New England will be prepared for the run game,
yeah,
for sure. And then when it comes down to the passing game, again, like you said, Vrabel's a great coach. Everybody's well coached.
yeah.
I wish we had that in Pittsburgh. We don't. I don't know that we will next season either, because McCarthy's going to be the head coach. We'll find out. But yeah, I definitely see New England winning and going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
I'm
I
really
mean, what
excited about the NFC game.
I mean, I don't mean to dismiss their 12-win season, but man, talk about a pretty rose-petal path to the Super Bowl. They get the Chargers at home with a shamble of an offensive line. Then they get Stroud, who can't, throw the football into water from a boat. And
No,
then they get that Denver, the number 1 seed, with a backup quarterback. Like, again, not discrediting it, they're playing great, but man, did they luck out with a path to the Super Bowl.
that's how it
And
happens sometimes, though. That's
yeah,
it's inevitable, to be
yeah,
honest with you.
yeah. So
Um,
yeah, I'm very confident in the Patriots this weekend, as
yeah.
much as that pains me to say.
Yeah, it's not like I said, because I'm friends with Tom. I still keep in touch with him all the time. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
yeah.
So, I'm really, really excited. Okay, and then let's not forget Megan Larkin was in our class. So, and she's a wonderful person too. Okay, anyway, the Rams and the Seahawks. I'm
Woo.
already drooling over this game. I can't
Yeah,
wait.
yeah.
I can't wait. I'm not gonna be shoveling between 6:30 and 9:30. Let the snow fall.
Yeah. It's it's one of two things. Stafford just takes the game, or Darnold throws it away, or Darnold, you know what I mean? Like, it's them too. It's the quarterback. Because you know Seattle's going to run the ball, and that's for sure good defense. But it's really going to come down to how great Stafford, does he just put him on his back and carry him to the Super Bowl, or it's same with Darnold. Is he going to be Darnold, or is he going to be playing like the MVP potential candidate he can be sometimes? So that's what's going to be interesting, I think. And
You
it's so
know,
funny, they just recently played too.
I'm really happy for Sam Darnold, because I was high on him when he played at USC. And I remember I was at home. I don't know if I took a sick day or I had a day off, but I actually watched his the USC day, and they featured Darnold, and he was doing all the right things for all the scouts that were there, all the drills that he had. I mean, he was throwing the ball great that day. And then he went to 2 teams that had terrible coaching,
Mhm.
and basically left Darnold, hanging to dry. And then he goes to Minnesota, and he showed who he actually is. And the only reason why he didn't stay in Minnesota is because McCarthy came back from his injury. That was his job. So he goes to Seattle, and man, oh man, he's just had such a great season. I mean, he ripped the Steelers apart in game 1, first week, the week 1.
Yeah, not too
Um,
shocking.
and yeah, but he's got Smith and Jiba or in Joba. How do you say his name? The wide receiver for the
Smith
Seahawks.
and Jigba.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Um, Boy, is he good. And they have such a great connection, you know.
See,
Arnold to
not,
Smith Jiba is just fantastic.
yeah, not to cut you off, but see, that's where I'm like, this is where I can't get around DK. Like everyone's like, oh, he's a number one. Like, no, look at Chase and Jefferson and Jigba. Those guys, you know, St. Brown, those guys are number ones. Like every time they run a route, they're open. They just so good. They catch the ball. Like he's a low one, maybe, but I think he's more of a solid two. Like I think that was another big mistake we had. Not to get off track, but that
It's
31.
okay.
But yeah. But man, yeah, Seattle is cooking. And
Yeah,
it's so funny. Like obviously me living in Charlotte, it's funnier because at one time they had Mayfield, Darnold, McCaffrey, and DJ Moore. Like, could you see where the Panthers could be if they just didn't step on their own feet and get in their own way? Like
right,
crazy.
right. Exactly. Well, it's going to be a great game.
Mm-hmm.
I remember watching their first game when the
Yeah.
Rams beat the Seahawks.
Yeah.
And I also burnt in my mind their second game when they played up in Seattle. That was the best game of the season. That was probably the best game in years for any regular season game. You know, I'm expecting that type of game again tomorrow. And it wouldn't shock me if the Rams win, but I do think Seattle prevails and goes to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, again, it's that staff. It's like Brady. Like if you have him, it doesn't matter. You always have a chance. When you have Stafford, you always have a chance. He could have a maybe not great game, and the defense might not be as good to you know the whole Seattle, who does have the best run team in the NFL, which I don't know if people realize, but yeah, it's obviously if I'm betting my 401k in my house, I'm betting on the Seahawks.
Right.
And
Their defense, they're gonna have to stop Kieran Williams because he's a solid running back.
yeah,
You know, and they've got solid receivers, you know. They've got great tight ends. I mean, they're stacked. The Rams are stacked, you know, but so are the Seahawks. I mean, the only thing with the Seahawks that concerns me, if I'm a Seahawks fan, is their number 2 running back, Charbonnet. He's out. He's done.
yeah,
You know,
he's big.
because that tandem of Walker and Charbonnet, that was the best tandem in the NFL.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Yeah.
But I don't know who their running back 3 is or RB3. And if he's 3/4 of Charbonnet, he's gonna have a good game. I do think that the Seahawks run game could put a lot of pressure on the Rams defense,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I just don't know who to give the edge to with the, you know, both teams that are running backs. I mean, because they're pretty much equal, you know, and really, to be honest with you, the 2 teams are equal, you know. So this is our Super Bowl, the 6:30 game tomorrow night in Seattle. That's our Super Bowl because whoever wins that game, I think it's the Seahawks. You think it's the Seahawks, will win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and we mentioned this before. It goes to the point of the relevancy is how wrong the Steelers are. Is the Rams have the cheapest defense in the NFL, and the Seahawks have the youngest defense in the NFL, and they're probably the 2 best teams in the NFL. And you know, this probably would be a better Super Bowl actually. But yeah,
And it's because they're well coached.
mm-hmm.
That's the bottom line. If you're going to win in the NFL, you better have really good coaches all across the board. Okay. That's how you're getting the Super Bowl. You can have as much talent as you want, you know, but if they're not coached well, they're not going to win.
Yep.
And it,
I'm
you
excited.
know, it makes me wonder too, you know, with what you said of having Omar Khan, how much power did he really have over Mike Tomlin?
Yeah, that's what I don't know. That's what I don't know.
And that's what we're
Who
going to
made
find
these
out.
decisions? Yeah.
That's what we're going to find out with McCarthy. Okay. Is McCarthy going to come in and tell Omar Khan, these are the players I want? Or is he going to tell Omar Khan, you go out and get the best players and we're going to coach them well? So I'm very curious about that. Okay. And Weidel, who is his assistant to Khan. So that's going to be a huge factor coming into, you know, this spring. and into the draft and into all their camps that they're going to have. I mean, there's no question about that. I think everybody should pay attention to that. If there's any one takeaway from this podcast, that's my number one is the power struggle, or if there will be a power struggle, or are they going to be in full agreement? More, go out and get the best players. We're going to coach them. Okay. Or just take over everything, which is what I think Tomlin did, which is what a lot of people think he did. You know, Tomlin was obviously in love with Kenny Pickett. Okay. And look at all the other blown number one picks they had over the years. Okay.
Too many of them.
Way too many. Busts. They were all busts, you know? So I'll be curious to see who the Steelers draft in the first round.
Yeah.
I'll be curious to see what they do with the quarterback position. I'll be curious to see what they do with the defensive line. I'll be curious to see what they do with the backfield and what they do with the wide receiver position.
If they don't re-sign Gainwell or stay in Gainwell, man, they're trying their best to lose me as a fan. And I already live in Charlotte, and that team's up and coming. It's crazy. And I think the three biggest contract mistakes that have put us where we are: TJ, DK, and Queen.
Yeah.
Big swings, big misses. All of them. Big misses.
Yep. Exactly. Well, actually, that brings up another point with TJ Watt, the new defensive coordinator and the D-line, the linebackers coach, technically. Are they going to have him line up in different positions on the field? Or is he going to be stubborn and say, I want to play from the left side?
Are we sticking to a 3-4 or are we going to do a 4-3? That's another thing.
Question. Good question. Excellent question. So there's a lot to be seen with what McCarthy will do with this team. I know we're bouncing back to him, but I can't help it because it's what's on my mind right now. And I think it's what's on everybody's mind right now.
Yeah. If we start the season with Mason Rudolph and McCarthy and no-name offensive coordinators, I'll probably be the least excited about a Steelers season.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think, like you said, we're reacting on emotion.
Yep.
Because when we came on, when we signed on here, we're 10 minutes fresh from that breaking news announcement.
Yeah.
We got a lot of time to dissect this, and we will talk about it in the future, Mike. There's no question about that. Yeah. Two more things, okay? Number one, what's the forecast in Charlotte for tomorrow? How much ice are you supposed to get?
Yeah, I mean, it keeps changing by the minute. We were supposed to get rain and ice on Friday and then snow today. We didn't get either. A little chilly today, but then it's going to turn cold tonight, and then overnight we're going to get a pretty bad ice storm. So the shelves are bare. Things are already closed on Monday. Everyone said my work said nobody come in on Monday.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a panic, but if you don't know, down here, if there's a threat of snow, it might snow tomorrow. School's canceled. I'm like, what? What happened? They getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning and turning on the TV to see if you have school like we had to do. They don't do that down here. But I understand too, there's very limited salt, very limited plows. So they do have them. They just don't have a lot. And one thing is they don't pay attention to the roads, whereas they make roads so the rain runs off. And well, guess what? When you're on an icy road, your car runs off.
Right.
What black ice is definitely a big thing here, because even when it warms up and the sun comes out, when the sun doesn't hit that street because of the trees and the houses, it's just bad. It's just bad. And you have a lot of people down here that don't know how to drive in that kind of conditions. And that's what scares me. But yeah, losing power is the fear. If the power lines go down or some truck runs into a telephone pole and knocks us down, because I think it was 10 years ago or something like that, we had a bad ice storm and there were people without electricity for almost 2 weeks.
I'm looking at my phone because I pulled a graphic from WPXI Channel 11, and I think I got this like an hour ago. I'll try to I don't think this will be clear enough, but I'm going to put it up against the camera here. Right now, Western Pennsylvania is in that 8 inches to 14 inches realm, but I think this was Scott Harbaugh. I don't know who it was. Drew a circle within that 8 to 14 graphic here. In this circle, I know you probably can't see it.
I can.
Okay. Do you see that circle where it says we can get up to 16 inches?
Yes.
And you look at Allegheny County, look at northwestern Allegheny County,
Mm-hmm.
that's where we live. Okay. That's Moon Township, that's Imperial, that's Clinton, Oakdale, and then leading north into, say like Wexford, Warrendale, all those areas, we really could get, well, 14 inches plus is what it says. Okay. So I don't know what's going to happen, but
Yeah, we're getting snow starting around 9 o'clock tonight. The temperature's in the low 20s and all through the night. Snow and rain turning to rain and freezing rain. Yeah, tomorrow's gonna be bad.
well, and what has everybody like waking up about this is like one of the largest storm fronts in the wintertime that I remember coming through, and how many states are affected by this, especially where you are in the South. It's gonna be ice, ice, ice. That's all it's gonna be. Whereas up here, north of the Mason-Dixon line, you're gonna be seeing anywhere from, like I said, 8 to 14 where we are, but in that circle where we live, it could be 14 plus, and that was an hour ago. So there's a kid down the street, a senior in high school. He's got a snowblower, and he's got a he's going to be coming over a couple times tomorrow. I've already got that hooked up, but we're still going to have to shovel regardless. It's going to be a day. It's going to be like a hour by hour thing. Um, and I know we're going to be shut down on Monday too, because they're not going to get rid of all that snow from the roads in a short time period. So, one more question, Mike. Last time you were on my podcast, you were wearing a Led Zeppelin t-shirt. Okay. And I meant to ask you about the shirt and I didn't, but I'm going to ask you now. If you have 5 tracks, 5 songs that you're going to take with you on an island, what are they by Led Zeppelin?
Yeah,
I'm putting you on the spot. I love putting people on the spot.
yeah, Stairway, Whole Lot of Love, man. I'm not big into like the deeper track stuff. It's the ones everyone likes.
Yeah.
They're at the top of the radio one. And I'm terrible at remembering names, but yeah, Immigrant Song probably.
Yeah, that's a great
You know what
song.
I mean? Obviously Kashmir.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Yep.
the
I'll
typical
give you
ones.
5 that I'm thinking of just because these are songs I probably play right now if I put on my Spotify account. Um, this is a very graphic, like perverted type song, but the Lemon Song is one of my favorites.
Oh yeah.
Go wrong with the Lemon Song. And it's not even just, Robert Plant's lyrics. It's the music. It's the music because Jimmy Page is one of the best guitarists ever. John Paul Jones is one of the best composers ever. Um, Aside from being a great bass player, and John Bonham was just an animal on his drum kit. I mean, if you take out Robert Plant and there's just a 3-man band, that's your best 3-man band ever to play in the history of rock and roll. Okay. So Lemon Song, um, Gigi Maker, that's from the song what the hell's the name of that album, 1973? The song remains the same.
Yeah.
Stairway, I could take or leave because it's overplayed.
Yeah, it's just heard so many times.
But Missy Mountain Hop is maybe one of my favorite songs from Led Zeppelin 4. That's a great tune. I would have to say Dazed and Confused for sure. This is always going to be a top 5 of mine from them. I don't know. I'm kind of stuck too. I don't have my top 5 really wrapped up because there's so many.
Yeah,
That's a great jam. Tangerine's a great jam. The first 2 albums, you can just play through and you don't have to
Mhm.
well, really almost all their albums, to be honest with you. Led Zeppelin 4, song remains the same.
Black Dog.
Oh, Black Dog's such a great tune. Rock
Yeah.
and Roll's such a great tune.
Yeah. I mean,
When
they're
the
just
Levee
good,
Break.
man.
When the Levee
Oh.
Break. Actually, I would take that over Misty Mountain Hop. That's such a good tune. But yeah, I could talk for the next hour about Led Zeppelin, throw in other bands too. But yeah, yeah. I appreciate you wearing that shirt last time you were on. So Okay, Mike, anything else on your mind, man?
No, man, just be safe up there and make good decisions and stay inside if you can.
Well, we're going to. The only time we're going outside is to do shoveling. And I did go to the store this morning at 8 o'clock in the morning. It was 2 degrees outside, and we were concerned about inventory, the shelves, all that kind of stuff. The Giant Eagle here in Moon Township, the only thing they didn't have that I needed was carrots.
Interesting.
Yeah, because we're making stir fry tomorrow.
Pot roast?
What's
What do
that?
you make?
Stir fry.
Oh, stir fry. I thought you were
Yeah,
making pot roast or something. Okay.
because if we lose electricity, there goes the crock pot idea that we had. But we've got a gas stove, so we can still at least cook, and we have flashlights, and we'll make it happen. Gotta eat something. Hopefully we don't lose electricity. Hopefully you don't either down there.
Yeah, let's
And like
hope.
you said, just, make good decisions, make wise decisions. Don't go out and do anything stupid outside because you might get hurt. Not you, but anyone.
Yep, anyone. Yeah.
Avoid injury at all costs. Well, Mike, thank you very much for coming on. I mean,
Thanks for having me, Phil.
you know, and the timing, knowing we're coming on at 2 o'clock. How in the hell how could the timing be any better or worse, depending on how you look at it,
Yeah.
with the breaking news on Mike McCarthy becoming the next head coach of the Steelers, only the fourth head coach since 1969.
Yeah. That pretty much sabotaged our whole conversation because it tainted it. But yeah, uh, like I said, thank God the Penguins are doing good.
Yep. Yep, yep. Okay. Well,
All
Mike,
right,
hey,
buddy.
man, thanks again. We'll be in touch. Have a good one. Stay
You too,
safe.
buddy. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.